Let's not waste a single second, because what I'm about to share with you could very well determine whether the Iraqi dinar holdings you've been safeguarding for years finally translate into life-changing financial freedom or become a story of a painful missed opportunity. This is not a drill. This is not speculation. We are staring down a definitive timeline, a closing window in 2026 that is being shaped by forces far beyond the borders of Iraq. And if you are not prepared, if you do not have a crystal clear, step-by-step plan for how to navigate the exchange process safely, you risk losing a significant portion of your investment to confusion, scams, or simple bureaucratic dead ends. I need you to understand the gravity of this moment. The global financial system is undergoing a tectonic shift, with new regulations coming online that are designed to bring unprecedented transparency to currency markets and to clamp down on assets perceived as speculative or high risk. The Iraqi dinar, for all the hope and controversy surrounding it, sits directly in the crosshairs of this regulatory storm. The year 2026 isn't an arbitrary date pulled from thin air. It's a convergence point for international banking compliance deadlines, potential Iraqi hydrocarbon law implementations that could finally unlock the nation's true economic potential, and critical benchmarks set by the International Monetary Fund for Iraq's financial reform program. This creates a scenario of immense pressure and possibility. The deadline we speak of is multifaceted. It's the deadline set by your own primary bank's evolving policies on exotic currencies. It's the deadline imposed by third-party exchange services who may alter their buyback agreements as volatility looms. And it's the psychological deadline of a market sentiment that can turn from anticipation to desperation overnight. The foundational mistake most dinar holders are making right now is passive waiting. Waiting for an official announcement, waiting for a specific rate to appear online, waiting for a friend to go first. This wait-and-see approach is what will trap you. The safe, profitable path is built on proactive preparation, and that preparation starts today, this very minute, with this video. You must begin to mentally transition from a holder to an executor. Your asset is not just the paper notes in your safe. Your real asset now is knowledge and a verified plan. The coming months will be filled with noise, wildly optimistic predictions, fear-mongering about confiscation, and a slew of new authorities popping up to sell you lists or certification services. Your first and most crucial line of defense is to filter all of that out and focus on verifiable, procedural reality. That reality is governed by global anti-money laundering (AML) and Know Your Customer (KYC) protocols that are stricter than ever before. When the dynamics shift, whether through a revaluation, a managed float, or a structured exchange program, the gates will not open for those who are unprepared. They will open for those whose documentation is impeccable, whose understanding of the process is bulletproof, and who have established relationships with financial channels capable of handling the transaction. Think of this as preparing for the most important job interview of your life, where your portfolio is your currency and the interviewer is an uncompromising, algorithm-driven compliance officer at an international bank. They will not care about the forums you follow or the rumors you believe. They will care about source of funds, proof of original purchase, chain of custody, and tax implications. The how to cash in safely is 90% about what you do before you ever walk into a bank or contact an exchange service. It's about having your financial house in such perfect order that you present not as a speculator, but as an informed individual executing a planned financial strategy. This is the only posture that will grant you access to the legitimate financial system and protect you from the predatory fringe elements that will inevitably swarm this event. The urgency I am conveying is not to incite panic, but to spark immediate, disciplined action. The timeline is real, the regulatory landscape is hardening, and the difference between a successful exchange and a heartbreaking setback will be the quality of your preparation. So, here is your first and most critical call to action. From this moment forward, shift your mindset from waiting to preparing. Do not watch another video, do not read another forum post, until you have completed a personal audit of your own position. Locate every single certificate of authenticity, every original purchase receipt, no matter how old. Begin organizing them digitally and in physical duplicates. If any documentation is missing, start the process of reconstructing that paper trail now. This is the non-negotiable first step on the path to cashing in safely, and it is a step that depends on no one but you. The clock is ticking, but it is still ticking for you. Let's use this time wisely. Now, let's dismantle the single greatest point of failure for currency holders: the assumption that all banks and exchange services will be ready, willing, and able to handle your transaction at the volume and value you anticipate. This is a catastrophic error in thinking. The mainstream banking world operates on risk models and compliance calendars, and the Iraqi dinar as an exotic currency is currently categorized in the highest risk tier. Most local bank tellers and even branch managers have zero operational experience with a potential high-value, mass-scale exchange of IQD. Their systems are not set up for it, their training does not cover it, and their first instinct will be to defer to compliance, which will likely result in a freeze, a lengthy investigation, or a flat-out refusal. This isn't malice, it's protocol. The secure exchange options mentioned in our title are not going to be advertised on the windows of your neighborhood bank. They will be specialized channels, and you must identify and vet them now, not when the news breaks and phone lines are jammed. These channels primarily fall into 3 categories, each with its own pros, cons, and critical vetting requirements. The first category is the premier global currency exchange corporations that have existing relationships with central banks and operate across borders. These entities deal in container loads of currency and are plugged directly into the wholesale forex markets. They are your most professional option, but they work with large minimum amounts and their client onboarding is rigorous. You must pre-qualify with them. The second category is the niche precious metals and rare currency dealers who have historically dealt in dinar. Their credibility spectrum is vast, ranging from utterly reputable multi-generational firms to shady back-office operations. Your due diligence here is life or death for your funds. You must check their standing with the Better Business Bureau, trace their corporate history, verify their physical address, and demand testimonials from clients who have actually completed sell transactions with them, not just buys. The third and most formal channel is through private banking or wealth management divisions of major international banks. This is not for walking in off the street. This requires you to already be a high net worth client or to establish a relationship immediately by depositing significant assets with them, thereby making your future dinar exchange a service for an existing valuable client, not a problem from a stranger. This path is about relationship banking at the highest level. Regardless of the path you investigate, the universal red flags are demands for large upfront fees, pressure to act immediately, promises of guaranteed above-market rates, and reluctance to provide a clear written step-by-step procedure for the entire transaction. A legitimate service will have a process flowchart, a compliance checklist, and will welcome your questions. Your mission starting today is to begin this vetting process. Create a spreadsheet. Contact at least 5 potential exchange partners from the categories above. Ask them pointed questions. What is your current buy-sell spread for IQD? If a liquidity event occurs, what is your written protocol? Can you provide a copy of your exchange agreement for review by my legal counsel? What identification and sourcing documentation will you require? What are your transaction limits per day? Their answers or lack thereof will tell you everything. Parallel to this, you must have a serious conversation with your primary bank. Do not ask hypotheticals. Schedule a meeting with the branch manager or a commercial banking officer. Frame the question in terms of service. As part of my international asset diversification strategy, I hold a position in Iraqi dinar. I am conducting a review of my banking relationships to see which institutions are best positioned to support a potential future conversion of this asset into my local currency. Can you clarify your bank's policy on large volume exotic currency exchanges, and would this be handled at the branch level, or referred to a special assets department? This frames you as a serious client assessing their capability, not a dreamer asking about rumors. Their response will be incredibly revealing. They may refer you to their treasury services desk, they may state they don't deal in exotic currencies, or they may ask for more details. This intelligence is gold. It tells you whether this is a viable path or a dead end. This legwork is unglamorous. It involves phone calls, emails, and taking notes. It is the absolute opposite of the exciting rate watch forums, but it is infinitely more valuable. The entities you identify through this process are your potential landing strips. When the financial weather changes, you will know exactly where you can safely land your asset. Without this list, you are flying blind in a storm, hoping to spot a runway through the clouds. Do not be that pilot. Your second call to action is this. Before this day ends, open that spreadsheet and make the first contact. Send 1 email. Make 1 call. This actionable step builds your bridge to safety, one tangible piece at a time. Let's dive into the engine room of this entire scenario, the actual mechanisms and documented requirements that will dictate a successful exchange, stripping away the fantasy to focus on the paperwork, the sequences, and the hard numbers. The process will be transactional, not emotional. It will follow banking and international trade law, not internet prophecies. First, you must internalize the concept of liquidity event versus revaluation. Much of the community discussion fixates on a revaluation, RV, a sudden change in the official exchange rate set by the Central Bank of Iraq. However, a more probable scenario for most international holders is a liquidity event or a structured exchange program facilitated through specific channels. This means the official CBI rate may change, but the rate you actually get will be determined by the wholesale forex markets by price for the quantity you are selling, minus the spread of the exchange service you use. Expecting to get a theoretical international rate at your local bank is a fantasy. Your rate will be a negotiated wholesale rate. Understanding this now manages your expectations and prevents devastating disappointment later. Now, onto the documentary fortress you must build. This is your ticket of admission. The core documents are 1. Proof of original purchase. This is your foundational document. It is the invoice, receipt, or certificate from the original dealer where you bought the dinar. It must show the amount purchased, the date, the price paid, and the dealer's information. If this is lost, you must begin a paper trail reconstruction immediately. Contact the original dealer for duplicates, gather bank statements showing the wire transfer or charge, anything to create a verifiable history. 2. Proof of legitimate source of funds. This traces the money you used to buy the dinar back to its origin. Was it from a savings account? A property sale? An inheritance? You need documentation, bank statements, sale contracts, probate documents, showing those funds were legally obtained and reported. This is AML 101. 3. Chain of custody. If you transferred the currency between safes, locations, or especially between persons, a log is beneficial. For most, simply being able to state the notes have been in your sole possession in a home safe since purchase is sufficient. 4. Government-issued photo ID. A passport is ideal as it is international. Ensure it is current, not expiring within 6 months. 5. Proof of address. A recent utility bill or bank statement, matching the address on your ID and financial records. 6. Tax identification number. Your social security number or equivalent. The exchange entity is legally required to report large transactions to tax authorities. Being upfront and prepared for this is key. 7. Bank account details. For the receiving account where the funds will be wired. This must be an account in your name, at a bank that is aware a large wire may be incoming to prevent a security hold. You will likely need to fill out a currency transaction report, CTR, or its international equivalent for any transaction over a certain amount, often $10,000 equivalent, but thresholds can be lower for exotic currency. The exchange service will do this, but they will ask you for the information. Furthermore, be prepared for a source of wealth, SOW, declaration, a more in-depth form explaining your overall net worth and how you accumulated your assets. For very large exchanges, the bank may conduct enhanced due diligence, potentially asking for professional references or letters from an attorney. The sequence of events will likely be initial contact and agreement on terms with your pre-vetted exchange partner, submission of your document package for pre-approval. This is the compliance green light. Receipt of a formal exchange agreement contract for you to sign, instructions for secure physical transfer or verification of the currency. This could involve armored courier or in-person verification at a secure facility. Once authenticity and quantity are verified, the calculation of the final exchange rate and net proceeds, the initiation of a secure wire transfer to your designated account, the filing of all regulatory reports. From start to finish, with a prepared client and a professional service, this could take several days to a couple of weeks. If you are unprepared, it could take months or never happen. The warning signs you must watch for are any deviation from this professional, document-heavy process. Anyone offering a faster, easier, document-light path is a scammer. Any request for you to pay processing fees, tax deposits, or verification charges upfront is a theft. The legitimate fees are taken from the gross proceeds after the rate is applied. Your third call to action is document assembly. Stop everything and gather every single item on that list. Scan them. Place them in a secure, encrypted digital folder and a physical folder. If anything is missing, start the retrieval or reconstruction process today. This binder of documents is more valuable than the currency itself, for without it, the currency may remain just paper. We have reached the final and perhaps most critical phase of our preparation, the strategic mindset and the post-exchange landscape. Successfully converting your dinar is not the end of the journey. It is a monumental financial transition that, if managed incorrectly, can lead to significant loss through taxes, poor investment choices, or even personal security risks. Let's first address the immediate aftermath. A large sum of money will hit your bank account, This triggers a series of automatic flags within the banking system itself. It is imperative that you inform your bank manager in advance that a large, legitimate wire transfer from a verified currency exchange is incoming. Provide them with the sender's information and the approximate amount. This pre-notification can prevent the bank's fraud department from freezing your account out of an abundance of caution, which could strand your funds for weeks during an investigation. Once the funds are cleared and available, your immediate discipline must be to do nothing. That's right. Do not make any large purchases, do not quit your job, do not tell everyone you know. Place the funds into a secure, liquid account like a money market fund or a series of FDIC-insured certificates of deposit spread across different institutions to stay within insurance limits. This is your cooling-off period, which should last a minimum of 90 to 180 days. This period allows the emotional high to settle and gives you time to build a professional team. You must, and I cannot stress this enough, must assemble a team of 3 independent, fee-based, not commission-based, professionals. A certified public accountant, CPA, or tax attorney specializing in windfalls, a certified financial planner, CFP, and a reputable estate planning attorney. The CPA will guide you on the tax implications, which are not straightforward. The conversion of currency is a taxable event, with the gain being the difference between your original purchase price and the sale price. You will owe capital gains tax. How much and when it is due is a complex calculation your CPA will handle. The CFP will help you construct a long-term wealth preservation and growth strategy based on your goals, not on products that earn them a commission. The estate planning attorney will help you protect this new wealth for your heirs through trusts, wills, and legal structures that shield your assets. This team is your new essential infrastructure. They are the experts you pay for clear, conflict-free advice. Relying on friends, family, or generic online advice for this phase is a recipe for losing a substantial portion of your wealth to taxes and bad investments. Now, let's talk about the human element, the people around you. Sudden wealth can distort relationships and attract unwanted attention. Develop a discreet, simple narrative for any inquiries. Something like, "We did some prudent financial planning and are very comfortable," is sufficient. There is no obligation to share details. Your personal security posture should be reviewed, your home security, online privacy, and general awareness. Finally, let's revisit the core premise of the 2026 timeline. The deadline is not just about cashing in. It's about cashing in within a window where the system has prepared pathways and where your documentation is fresh and acceptable. As global regulations tighten post-2026, the burden of proof on exotic currency transactions will only increase, and the number of willing intermediaries may shrink. Acting with precision and preparation before this window potentially constricts is the ultimate definition of safety. You now possess the blueprint. You have the sequential steps: mindset shift, document assembly, channel vetting, process understanding, and post-exchange stewardship. This information is your power. The difference between those who navigate this successfully and those who are left with frustration will be execution. The time for passive hope is over. The time for active, disciplined, documented preparation is now. You have the map. The responsibility to take the first step is yours. And with that, I have one final crucial call to action for you. This is the most important one. Do not let this video be another piece of information you consume and forget. Your future self will look back on this moment as the turning point. I want you to act right now. In the comments below, type the word prepared. But only type it once you have completed your first tangible action from this video. Did you locate your purchase receipts? Type prepared. Did you create your spreadsheet and send your first inquiry email? Type prepared. Did you schedule that meeting with your bank manager? Type prepared. Let that comment be your public commitment to yourself and to this process. Let's build a community of the prepared in the comments. Not of speculators, but of executors. See who else is taking this seriously. Support each other with accountability. I will be reading those comments. This is your line in the sand. This is where you choose to be a victim of circumstance or the architect of your own outcome. The information is here. The timeline is clear. The next move is yours. Type prepared, and let's begin this journey together with clarity, with strategy, and with the unwavering intent to succeed safely.